Well, I think that's why you get in the communist societies a degeneration into, well, everyone's equal with nothing.
Well,
right. That's where you make people equal, is when everyone has nothing.
You know where this is really beautifully depicted is in the Screwtape Letters, C.S. Lewis's sort of letters from demons to one another. He basically makes of them a totalitarian society, describes hell as a totalitarian society. There's this wonderful moment where, you know, Screwtape is writing to Wormwood, I believe it's his nephew, so a younger demon, and he's coaching him. And at one point he says, the thing that most confounds us about the enemy, that is God, is that he really does love the little vermin. That is, this is the thing that we cannot understand.
That's by definition.
Yes.
It's by definition.
Right. Yeah. And in his fatherly nature and in his definition as God. In the next letter, he says, I hope you haven't shown my letters to anybody, because of course, if I were taken to mean that there really is such a thing as love, that would be heresy, and I would be very much condemned in hell. Love is impossible. We in hell know that love is impossible because everything expands by eating up what is around it.
Right. That's the rapacious hordes of devastating mankind, motivated by nothing other than power, which was really, as far as I'm concerned, a complete confession on the part of Foucault. It's like, really, there's nothing but power, eh? Really?
Yeah.
That's what you think. That's what you think about everyone. And there's no actual dialogue between people. There's just the competition between plays for power. That's your world. You're definitely... Yeah, you might be successful, Mr. Foucault, but that just made you the biggest devil in hell. And that's a pretty weird definition of success. And there's something even more pathological about that, because if there is no game but power, so there's no love, let's say, if there is no game but power, I'm a fool to do anything but play a power game with you.
Of course,
and I'm also a fool not to win, right, at whatever cost. Right. And so... that's, I think, the unconscious motivation that underlies the claim that the ruler of the earthly realm is the spirit of power. It's like, okay, if that's the case, then clearly, if I can, I should. Now, I know as a clinician, if you're the kind of person who thinks I can, and therefore I should get the hell away from you as rapidly as possible, because that is the core proclamation of the possessed psychopath. It's like, you are nothing but a field of opportunities, not only for me, but for my deepest, darkest, and most fragmented desires. That's that legion of devils that constitutes hell.
And the idea that this is, that this force, or Satan, is the prince of the world, basically sets us up to understand ourselves as either slipstreaming into that logic, operating according to our most base desires, as you say, dissolving ourselves effectively into raw material power, or positing the existence of a separate principle from the raw mechanical workings of the material world.
Well, I think the Old and New Testaments are investigations into what that alternative to power is. And I think you can sum it up, actually. It took a long time to figure out how to sum it up. Well, it's something like the spirit of voluntary self-sacrifice, right? Because the biblical stories are an investigation into what sacrifices best please God, right? It's a millennia-long investigation. What is the right work? Which is the same thing as the right sacrificial pattern. And there isn't anything more diametrically opposed to the claim of power than the proclamation that the proper community is founded on the highest possible spirit of voluntary self-sacrifice. And that is what's emblematic about the crucifixion. Right? So God himself sacrifices himself as voluntarily to hoist the future and the community onto his shoulders. It's like, yes, that's a complete inversion of the notion of power.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think I can't see how you can possibly claim that the healthy community can, in fact, be founded on anything other than sacrifice. I mean, to the degree that you love your wife, you give up everything that's only local to you for the relationship. That's sacrificial. That's what you do with your children. That's what you do with your friends. That is the antithesis of power. I think the postmodernist realization, unconscious though it may be, that Christianity is directly opposed to the postmodernist claim that power rules is the ultimate driving force of the culture war.
Well,
that's what it looks like to me.
Absolutely. And what you're describing, in one sense, of course, it's the most functional thing in the world because it's the only way to found a healthy community. In the other sense that we've been talking about more, it's extremely inexpedient to propose that you should shelve all of these immediate desires that you have and trust, right? Believe that you're going on the other side of that to receive blessing.
Yeah, that's, right. Definitely. Well, I actually don't think there's any difference between that and cortical maturation.
Okay.
Well, because, you start out in the world as a plethora of competing impulses, right?
Yeah.
And those are integrated across time by your development of the ability to share, right, to engage in reciprocal action, and by your ability to forego immediate gratification so that you can stabilize the future. And it's cortical maturation that allows that to occur. On the physiological plane, it's like these, and it isn't the Freudian repression of the motivations and the emotions. Right. It's the integration of the motivations and emotions. That's their subduing, right, that Adam's called upon to do. It's their integration that makes them a higher order unity that is, in fact, the best way of even providing for those motivational systems what they want in the broadest range of places and across the longest span of time.